Hi everyone, Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com, DevOps TV, and here at the DevOps Enterprise Summit at San Francisco, joined by Mirco Herring of Accenture, a former speaker and now an author on DevOps. Mirco, welcome. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Alan.
So I guess the big news is this baby right here.
Yes.
We're having a world premiere. This is the first look at Mirco's upcoming new book, DevOps for the Modern Enterprise, Winning Practices to Transform Legacy Organizations. I should mention that this book will be available probably in around April.
Yeah, in April next year.
From IT Revolution Press. And really, I mean, from what you're telling me, Mirco, and my quick perusal of it, this represents sort of the collected learnings, if you will, from your blogs.
Exactly, yeah.
Over the years around DevOps, and it also kind of charts your own journey,
yes,
from waterfall to agile to DevOps and to lean.
Yeah.
And what's that's meant for you. But why don't you share with our audience a little bit what's
it about? Well, I really wanted to write a book that has two things. One has some practical guidance. So in each of the chapters, I actually have little activities that you can run at home in your own company. Because sometimes you read a book and then you say, this sounds really good, but now, so what? Like, what am I doing with it? So that was one of the reasons that I wanted to do this. And basically, the activities are things that I do with my clients or in my own company. And then the other thing was to start helping the shift in a more modern mindset. Because I think still, when you think about the transformations and why they sometimes get stuck, I think it's not the tools, we've solved those. It's not the practices. It's really the mindset that we need to have that helps us guide through the transformation and the obstacles that come. So that's really what this book is about. And it's an exciting and nervous moment as I start putting it out there. So we will have a signing tonight here, and people will get some preview copies. So
fantastic.
I might get some feedback. People might call my baby ugly.
Well, first of all, I'm sure it's a great book. I mean, I
Thanks.
know you, but I think that's just part of the creative process as well. So, Mirco, there are probably people watching this saying, I'd like to write a book.
Yeah.
I could write a book on this stuff and what I've learned. How give us a little insight into the process of how do you move from blogging to book author?
Well, I first have to thank Eric Palsmo, who was a bit of my cheerleader. He wrote a book and asked me to write a foreword. And then he said, you should really write a book. And I'm like, well, who wants to hear what I'm writing? And, would I have the guts to do that? And he said, no, you're writing a blog. You already do the writing. And so he was really the cheerleader for the project, which was awesome. For the process itself, you obviously have to write a draft, and you have to have an idea of what you want to say. And that's a daunting thing when you think about a whole book and how to structure that out. And I think I was lucky because I had a blog post, so I could leverage some of the material I created before, so that there was kind of a skeleton that I could build on. The actual draft took 9 months or so, and then there's a long process of reviews and reviews and reviews, because different to a blog, where you have like one concise thing that you're saying, here you need to have a storyline, and then it needs to be consistent. And here's where, if you're writing a DevOps book, 9 months is a long time to learn a lot of new things. And then are you going to go back and updating the book, or is it consistent enough? And I found that a very interesting experience.
Excellent. So, in terms of lessons, so is someone going to read, so let me back up. Mirco, I always tell people, a big thing in business is everyone wants to do it themselves and experience it themselves and learn it themselves. And that's not necessarily a bad way. But what happens is you wind up paying what I call the idiot tax.
Yeah.
Right? You make silly mistakes that in retrospect, had you, spoken to someone or had a little more experience or what have you, could have saved yourself a lot of time and money. What idiot tax savings do people get from reading your book?
That's a good question. And I think that's pretty much, you just described the business model of the company I work for, right?
It's Accenture's business model, you're right.
It's basically clients coming us, you've been there, you can tell us what the obstacles are on the road and how to navigate it. I think what the book really does, it describes some of the things that not a lot of people talk about, which is how to work with technology vendors and systems integrators like ourselves. So I think that kind of, how do you structure a contract or a partnership is one of the idiot taxes you get paid. And then I think there's a lot of bringing material together from many different areas, but in a not a technical book, not a business book, a bit of in the middle, which I hope to address the kind of the frozen middle management.
Sure. Excellent. Well, Mirco, thank you so much for writing this book, first of all. Second of all, for debuting it on DevOps TV here.
Thanks for having me.
I'll be looking for my copy signed.
Absolutely.
Okay, so again, the book is DevOps in the Modern Enterprise, Winning Practices to Transform Legacy IT Organizations by Mirco Herring of Accenture. Mirco, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay, this is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com, DevOps TV here at Does 17.